here's Brody Brazil.
Well, hey, what a big weekend for big flies across Major League Baseball. In the Bronx, Aaron Judge gets to the 50 home run mark. In fact, he's sitting on 51 as I record this, maybe on pace for like 62 on the season. Congratulations to him. But out on the West Coast, Shohei Ohtani just got to the 40-40 club, sitting on 41 homers. He also picked up his 40th steal of the season. So it brings us to an interesting predicament because there's so much time left in this season, and there's no stopping Ohtani at this juncture. Could he really become the first ever 50-50 player in Major League Baseball? 50 homers, 50 stolen bases in a single season. First off, we need to enjoy the accomplishment of joining the 40-40 club. There's only 6 total members. Jose Canseco, famously in the 88 season, was the first ever. 42 homers, and it really took him the extra effort to get to 40 steals. He was not a big steal guy. He was certainly capable of it, but it took him 151 games to finally get that 40th stolen base in a game against the Milwaukee Brewers. So he does that. He's first in 88, kind of sets a tone. It doesn't happen again until 1996 when Barry Bonds did it with the identical numbers, 42 dingers, 40 swipes. That took him 158 games. That's playing a lot of baseball. You don't miss a lot of games at 158 to get to that 40-40 club. A-Rod did it 10 years after Jose did it in 1998, 42 dingers, 46 stolen bases. It took him 153 games played to reach that. Alfonso Soriano did it in 2006 with the Washington Nationals, 46 and 41 through 147 games played. Ronald Acuña Jr. did it last year with Atlanta, 41 homers and, 73 stolen bases in 152 games played. Now, we should take note. With the new rules and the pitch timer and the disengagements for pitchers on the mound, you can only look over and throw over a certain amount of times. So there are rule changes that make stealing bases easier. And I'm not here to say that Acuña Jr. wouldn't have got there. Like 73 is 73, but the steals part of the 40-40 club has definitely changed from prior eras. But nonetheless, Ronald Acuña Jr. certainly deserving to be in this club. And then 1 year later, so for the first time here in 2024, we've got back-to-back years where somebody got to the 40-40 club. Shohei Ohtani, 41 dingers, 40 stolen bases in 126 games. And we'll talk about that. That's why the asterisk is there, because there is so much time left for him to pad those numbers, especially on a team like the Dodgers. The other thing I'll point out here is, so even if Ohtani doesn't get to 50-50 this year, which will explain why I think he can get there in just a second, he might be the first guy, and depending on if he pitches next year or not, he could get there in back-to-back seasons. He hits 40 homers on a pretty regular basis. It's only been this year and really the last couple months that he's got, I think, 30 steals in total. Like, the stolen bases have started to become a thing for Shohei Ohtani. So could he do it in back-to-back years? Here are my initial thoughts. We'll get to some deeper details in the 50-50, but first let's stop right here about 40-40. It took everybody else on that list 150 games approximately. It took everybody else on that list until about late September. When you look at the dates of when they got to the 40-40 club, all of them September 20th or later, I think, in respective seasons. But Ohtani gets to 40-40 in late August. He still has about 20% of the season remaining to hit 9 homers and steal 10 bags. Nobody has done 50-50 yet. Why wouldn't it be Shohei Ohtani to be the first to enter that club? He's the first to pitch and hit in so many decades and do it to a high level. And it brings you to the question, are steals or home runs going to be easier? Which will be the easier part of the two? Which will be the harder part of the two? I'll explain that in just a second. But getting to 50-50 requires you to do two things. Hit for power. Also, not only just steal bags, get on base. Have the opportunity in base stealing situations to actually get those swipes. Oh yeah. All of this, by the way, for Shohei Ohtani in a season where he's recovering from Tommy John surgery. It's nuts, right? 40-40 club while on your recovery season from getting Tommy John. He just threw off a mound also this weekend for the first time since surgery. He's ramping up that recovery process. Not going to pitch again this year, but he's got to get the wheels moving for obviously next year if he wants to do that. It's kind of crazy. If I'm the Dodgers, I say, you know what? You just keep doing 40-40s. You don't need to worry about pitching. We're fine. Let's take a deeper look at the numbers, and I'm not promising anything here, but it makes a lot of sense of why Ohtani could be baseball's first ever 50-50 club member. And the steals alone are interesting. I think I said 30 stolen bases in the last 2 months. Sorry, I was wrong there. It's 24 between July and August, but that is so crazy because look at the prior months of April, May, and June, 5 and 8 and 3 respectively. I mean, look at June, 3 stolen bases, that's it. And his batting average was almost 300. He was getting on base to the clip of 413. Here in August, a 215 batting average and a 275 on-base percentage. He's not even getting the opportunity to get hits and get on base that much, and he still had his best stolen base month of this season. And honestly, his career high in steals was 26. That's a third of his career high in 1 month. He's done it in back-to-back months. So, what's going on here? Is Dave Roberts giving him the constant green light? Can he just go anytime and every time he wants? Possibly. That makes me think that even struggling with the average and to get on base, that Ohtani going this way is going to trend in the right direction with stolen bases. So I'm here to say that so long as he can get on base at any respectable trend, I think he's going to find a way to steal these bags. Now, the other obvious part of this equation are the home runs, and Ohtani had a monster month of June. He got to double digits. There it is right there, 12 in the middle of the season. But honestly, even before and after that, 7 and 7 and 6 and 9, his pace, his trajectory, it's been pretty consistent the entire season. So there's nothing that would make me think he couldn't, in the handful of days here left in August and in the entire month of September, that he couldn't hit 9 more. It's not far-fetched based on what he's done so far all season long. There's also this, which puts me in the mood of thinking he could get there. He leads the league with 25 no-doubter home runs this season. What's a no-doubter? It's a home run that's hit that would clear any fence, depending on where it was hit, across Major League Baseball. It's a home run in every single park, depending on where that baseball landed. So Ohtani's barreling them up. He's crushing home runs. If you look at his spray chart, there are some unbelievable balls hit to both left and right center. He's getting a hold of these baseballs. And so he's not, I don't want to say getting the fluky home runs, but he might be due for a couple fluky home runs. Ones he hits off the end of the bat or the handle of the bat that still find a way over the fence. I think all things point in him connecting with the baseball so well that he will find a way to do that. And again, just looking at all these things, the fact that he's stealing so many bags lately, the fact that his home runs have always been there, I don't see what stands in the way, honestly, of him not getting to 50-50, barring, anything abnormal. Under normal circumstances, I think he could get there. So here are my predictions, and I'm not going to for sure say that he does. I will say this at least, though. This is going to get interesting in the month of September. This will be a storyline to watch. Even if he flirts with it, I think it's a really good story for Major League Baseball. I mean, Judge getting to a certain amount, yeah, that's cool, but to be the first ever, like Ohtani is in a lot of things, to get to 50-50, what a good storyline for people who are just casual baseball fans. They'll watch every at-bat. They'll watch every time he's on base. Pretty much any time he's due up, you're thinking one of those two things, either a home run or a stolen base, could be checked off the list. I don't think he's going to get walked a lot. Now, this was the case for Barry Bonds a lot of times in the home run chase, and obviously Ohtani is seeking a single season accomplishment here. But I don't think on the Dodgers, I don't know that you can afford to walk Shohei Ohtani to get to somebody else in their lineup. It was the case of Barry Bonds that, all right, you just don't want Barry to hit because you'll deal with whoever might be hitting, and it's a talented hitter following Barry Bonds, but it's not going to be Barry Bonds. On the Dodgers this year, it's a little bit different. I also think, in terms of just trying to get to this accomplishment, if Ohtani really has picked up the pace on stolen bases intentionally to try and get to 40-40, to maybe try and get to 50-50, you saw the spike, 24 stolen bags in the last 2 months, I think he can also down the stretch here, based on where the Dodgers are at, based on the fact that they're going to make the playoffs, he can swing for the fences a little bit more. He'll have the liberty to try and hit home runs. Obviously, he'll want to get on base because he needs steals too, but there's nothing wrong, especially early in counts, with swinging for the fences. He's not in a team situation where the team needs him on base, the team needs something from him, and the team is relying on him to make the playoffs. That's not the case. He can kind of get a little bit selfish here if he wants and swing for the fences. Now, it leads me to the only real question here. It's part of a prediction, but I think this will play a factor. Can he get on base enough for these steal situations? You saw his on-base percentage, his batting average had dipped significantly in this month of August. So does he get on enough to steal enough bags? Certainly it didn't cost him in this month of August, had one of his best steal months ever. But I think getting on base is still a key factor here. So 50-50 for Shohei Ohtani. I'll put it this way. I think it's better than a 50-50 chance that he gets to 50 homers and 50 steals. And I just think as much as 40-40 has been the bar, I mean, that's still always going to be a pretty cool club. There's only 6 members in it. But if Ohtani were to either do two things, get there twice, like 40-40 now, 40-40 next year, or if he were to get to 50-50 this year, man, I feel like the bar has certainly been raised. You made it here to the end of this video. You know I appreciate that. Thumbs up down below. That'll greatly help me in this video and this channel. I would like that, but I would also love it even more if you just take 1 second, go down there right now, hit that subscribe button. That way I can definitely see you back here next time.